In this video, I reunite with my friend from the 1970s, co-writing a few songs. A few of them he sang on TV, and you'll see some video of that. Also some great video footage from my studio back in the late 1990s, recording music that went on my friend's first solo album. Also, we're going to look at the amazing home studio options that were kind of opening up in the 1990s, and the different home studios that I would go through during the 1990s. So stay tuned, and got all that coming up. So I intended on making a simple two-part video just talking about my history with my various, home studio setups. However, this kind of became a fun project for me, kind of looking through old photos and some videos that I had from the past. Had a lot of video, but nothing prior to '86. So there may be a few more parts of this going forward. So much of this video shows me playing a ton of lead guitar. I've known that there are thousands of better guitar players, probably just in my own state that I live in. But multi-track recording is attractive to many songwriters like myself, especially that only have a bit of music theory experience, because it helps you write without needing to, write longhand, on paper. And I could kind of fake my way through with drums and keyboard and a few other instruments. And the 1990s would be one of the reasons I kind of started this channel, which is probably about 3 years ago. I simply had so many home studio setups in the 1990s. There were so many different choices, I kind of went through a bunch, In the 1990s, my wife and I were super busy. My second son arrived in 1990. My wife was going to college, kind of finish her degree, while she was still working full time. And, we're raising 2 kids now. And I started 2 small businesses. So I was working 7 days a week, and yet we still managed to somehow raise a couple kids. I still had time to record music, and I still had time to weight train, and I kind of connected again with Jerry. And if you missed that part 1 in the 1970s, he's the guy that I played in his band for 9 years. And at this time, he was living in Washington. So we mailed cassettes back and forth, sing on one track, and then he'd play his guitar on another track, and then he would send those to me through the mail. And I would, with my own multi-track recorder, throw those 2 tracks on that. Then I would add drums, backup vocals, and then I would send those tracks back to him. Of course, I had lead guitar on there. And then he would critique them, or he would say, hey, that sounds good, and he'd have a good demo towards his next album, We sold our house, and we were renting a townhouse around 1992. So I used the unfinished basement with concrete, reflective, smooth walls all around. Though computer recording was becoming more of an option, I kind of chose a 85-16 1-inch 16-track machine. I purchased for around $3,000, like in the early 90s, and a huge thing. It came apart in 2 sections with big old huge wire connectors, and each section weighed a couple hundred pounds. I had a really nice English board, I don't remember what kind it was, that I used. And but later on, soon later, I purchased a Fostex G16 half-inch 16-track recorder, pictured here, that had this really cool wire detachable face that would kind of also double as a remote. I remember selling my Tascam for this. At that time, I really only recorded Jerry's music and some other friends' music, mostly during the 90s, which at the time I enjoyed. It was around this time that I rented one of those blackface ADAT 16-bit recorders, 8-track. They just hadn't been out for very long. They were about $3,000 brand new at the time, but I wanted to try it out. So I rented it for like a day, just kind of playing with it, you know, trying out this new technology, this new digital recording. And during this time, of course, I had my Roland drum set, and I also had an Alesis QS7, which was in its early days, which actually I still use to this day. It's a different one, but I'm really familiar with that keyboard, so that's the one I kind of use between my editing room and my studio. We purchased a home in 1995 that had an unfinished basement. I made a two-room recording studio. I had soundproof all over one room that I covered, and the room had no ventilation, so you'd have to leave the door cracked open. I had sold much of the last recording studio to save up for the down payment on this house. So I restarted this studio with a TX or 5A mixer and a TX 80-8 8-track half-inch recorder with the big 10-inch reels again. And I purchased this nice desk you see in the picture, and I'm happy I did take a lot of pictures. And soon after that, I switched to the ADAT 16-bit blackface machine. Here's some footage that my oldest son, boy, he was pretty young at the time, he was playing with our camcorder, and he got some really cool footage. And so here's some footage from that recording session when Jerry flew in from Seattle. No, he drove here from Seattle to Colorado and did some vocals. He wanted to get some lead guitar, and this was going to be his first solo album. So anyways, when Jerry returned to Seattle, we continued to send music back and forth. I wrote music for a song that he wrote called Angel's Dance. But before I get too far, let's show you some cool footage from that recording session in 1998.
Vocals now, because I like the guitar. I think we should keep it like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Helping me finish the race.
3 in.
We're going to count 3.
Yeah.
And then bring the fader up.
Yeah.
You want me to do the vocal like I did it before?
Well, we'll both.
Do what?
We're gonna both sing.
Okay.
Back up.
Okay.
Yes. I love that.
I've got to record.
Okay. Okay. 3. Channel 3.
And you have channel 3's pushed in?
I
No,
have.
channel 3 is not pushed in on the recorder.
Well, I did. I thought I had. He's our cinematographer.
Cinematography. Where's our key grip?
Yeah.
And our, we have reverb. Maybe try reverb.
So it doesn't matter if I'm quite singing this.
Right.
You could be saying the same thing or not. Yeah, because I'm gonna be doing a little bit differently.
That's Jerry.
Let's go through the whole thing. Now turn to things that make the young life old. Turn to hopeless chances that never heard a prayer. Turn to selfishness. I think what I need is the lead guitar off, because that's confusing me.
The lead's on what channel? 3? No, 5. 5, okay.
The bush lets somebody boom, but the boom, but the bye. I've turned to things that I possessed. Well, I've turned to things that make the soul grow cold. And I'm turning God's light over in the dark. Some hot side.
Oh, Dad, want me to go get you mine?
No, there's one laying around here. They're all over the place. Here, I found one. See, they're all over the place.
Your video camera here?
I'll just mess around here.
Oh, there we are. Okay, yeah. Where's the love thing you sing about?
I have to tune it too. Yeah.
That would be a good.
For me, I started performing in front of an audience again after almost 20 years of just, not doing any of it. So kind of nerve-wracking. The 2000s, I started performing in front of doing open mic stuff. Got some video from some of that. And I got some really good footage from the 2000s. So I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you soon.